Welcome back to Rare Coin HQ. Today we're diving into the thrilling world of rare wheat pennies, those tiny coins that can fetch jaw-dropping sums, sometimes even millions. Stick around as we explore the dates, mint marks, and unusual quirks that turn ordinary pennies into prized treasures for collectors and investors alike. Let's start with a true standout, the 1935 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny. This 1-cent coin, featuring a large date and no mint mark, is a real gem in the wheat penny collection. Collectors love it not just for its scarcity, but for its striking appearance. Minted in the mid-1930s, a time when America was slowly emerging from tough economic years, the 1935 penny reflects subtle changes in coin production that make it historically significant. On the front, you'll see the familiar Lincoln portrait, crafted by Victor David Brenner. While the design seems familiar, experts notice tiny differences from year to year, like how sharply Lincoln's face is struck or the depth of the letters. On the 1935 large date version, these details can vary, and they are key when evaluating a coin's condition and authenticity. The back keeps the classic wheat design, with gracefully curved stalks and crisp lettering, showing the high level of craftsmanship of early 20th century coins. Only a limited number of 1935 large date pennies were produced in Philadelphia compared to other years. That scarcity explains why finding one today, especially a coin that has seen some circulation but still retains its deep, almost black color, is so challenging. Coins that have avoided corrosion or heavy wear are especially prized. Many 1935 pennies show gentle wear and attractive toning that collectors love, giving them a rich, natural character. Auction results highlight just how valuable this penny can be. Top grade examples of the 1935 large date Lincoln wheat penny have sold for more than $210,000, especially when certified by reputable grading services. Collectors also hunt for subtle errors and die varieties. While major mistakes are rare, some coins display light doubling, small die cracks, or slightly off-center strikes, features that can dramatically boost their value. The deep, dark color found on many circulated 1935 pennies adds to the appeal. It tells a story of a coin that has genuinely been used over time, never cleaned or altered, giving it an authentic, historical feel. Beyond its monetary worth, this coin represents a chapter in American history, a time when the nation was recovering, and Lincoln's image continued to symbolize strength and dignity. Thanks to its limited production, historical importance, unique look, and high collector demand, the 1935 large date wheat penny with no mint mark remains one of the most sought-after coins in the series. For anyone hoping to own a wheat penny that combines serious investment potential with a tangible link to America's past, this coin is a remarkable choice. Next, we turn our attention to the 1955 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, a coin that has earned near legendary status among collectors. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this penny comes from a time when the United States was transforming at lightning speed. Factories were expanding, cities were evolving, and everyday coins like this one moved through millions of hands as the nation entered a new era of modern growth and prosperity. By 1955, the Lincoln wheat penny had already been a familiar part of American life for more than 2 decades. Yet this particular year stands out, especially for collectors who focus on the large date variety. Experts carefully study the size, shape, and spacing of the numbers in the date, because even small differences can dramatically influence a coin's value and authenticity. Every curve, every line in the numerals is a clue to the coin's history. The obverse of the coin presents Abraham Lincoln's enduring portrait designed by Victor David Brenner. By 1955, the image had been subtly refined over many years of production, giving collectors a design that is both timeless and detailed. On well-struck examples, Lincoln's hairlines are crisp, his facial contours clear, and the folds of his collar sharp. Every tiny detail is examined closely by collectors to assess strike quality, preservation, and overall appeal. Turning the coin over, the reverse showcases the familiar wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent. This design, a nod to the country's agricultural roots, remained in use until the late 1950s. On high-quality 1955 pennies, the lettering along the rim stays bold and well-defined, a critical factor for grading and determining market value. Collectors prize coins where the wheat stalks remain detailed, with no flattening or where obscuring the delicate lines. Although hundreds of millions of 1955 wheat pennies were produced, finding examples that survived in excellent condition is far more difficult today. Most were heavily circulated, picking up scratches, worn surfaces, and diminished detail. Coins that avoided this kind of wear, especially those that still display strong design features, are considerably rarer and much sought after. Collectors have long been captivated by this coin because it offers a perfect combination of history, beauty, and subtle variation. Even when there are no dramatic errors, small differences in the spacing of letters or the shape of the date digits can make a coin significantly more interesting to specialists. These nuances are often overlooked by casual observers but are carefully documented by serious collectors, adding depth and intrigue to each piece. A clean, circulated 1955 penny in fine condition is especially desirable. It preserves enough original detail to clearly show Lincoln's portrait, the wheat stalks, and the lettering, while still displaying the natural signs of age and everyday use. This balance of preservation and authenticity gives the coin character, telling a story of decades spent in pockets, registers, and wallets, a coin that was truly part of daily life. In today's market, the 1955 large-date Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark can command remarkable sums. Top-quality examples have sold for over $212,000 at auction. Depending on the sharpness of the strike, the preservation of the design, eye appeal, and any minor anomalies present. Professional grading by companies like PCGS or NGC plays a vital role in achieving these numbers. Certification assures buyers of authenticity, condition, and historical accuracy, critical when dealing with coins at this level of value. Collectors value this penny not just for its price, but for the era it represents. Circulating in a post-war America full of optimism and growth, the coin quietly supported the country's changing economy, touching countless hands along the way. Decades later, it has become a tangible reminder of a pivotal moment in U.S. history. From an investment perspective, the 1955 wheat penny remains highly appealing. Its steady collector demand, historical significance, and relatively small number of high-quality survivors make it a strong candidate for long-term appreciation. Auction houses have reported rising interest over the years, particularly for coins that maintain a balanced wear pattern, strong design detail, and crisp lettering. Even minor imperfections can influence value, sometimes dramatically. Coins with clean surfaces, well-defined features, and minimal scratches consistently bring premium prices. This meticulous attention to detail is what keeps the Lincoln Wheat penny market active, competitive, and exciting for both new collectors and seasoned investors. The 1955 large-date Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark remains a key piece in the study of U.S. coinage. It demonstrates how history, craftsmanship, and rarity can converge in a single humble 1-cent coin. For serious collectors, it is far more than currency. It's proof that even ordinary objects can become treasured artifacts over time. As part of any high-value Lincoln Wheat penny collection, this coin stands as a powerful reminder of the meaning and value that can be found in a single year, a single design, and a single cent. Each scratch, every line, and every detail carries the story of an America in transition, making this small coin a remarkable window into the past. Next, let's turn our attention to a coin that tells a story of survival and history, the 1945 Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny with a large date and no mint mark. For collectors, this coin is a true cornerstone of mid-20th century American coinage. Minted right at the end of World War II, the 1945 penny comes from a period when the U.S. Mint was under enormous pressure to keep coins circulating while the nation focused on the war effort overseas. Every coin from this era carries subtle hints of urgency, material shortages, and wartime production changes. Just a year before, pennies were made from steel, because copper was desperately needed for military supplies. By 1945 the mint returned to bronze, but they still relied on recycled copper and other metals to meet demand. That makes this coin special. It's part of the transition back to traditional materials during a time when resources were tight. This particular penny grabs attention immediately. Its dark, blackened surface and rusty patches tell a vivid story of decades spent in circulation and storage under less than ideal conditions. While some might see corrosion as damage, collectors know it can actually add interest, showing history rather than modern cleaning or tampering. On the front, Abraham Lincoln's familiar portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, is still visible. Even with rust and discoloration, you can make out Lincoln's face, his hair, and the word liberty, proof of the strong craftsmanship used even in the pressures of wartime production. Flip it over, and the classic wheat stalks frame 1 cent and United States of America. On these 1945 large-date pennies, experts often study the reverse closely for strike quality and subtle errors. This coin shows small irregularities typical of the era, like slight doubling on the date and uneven wheat details, features that make it highly collectible for those who love die varieties and error coins. Although nearly 900 million 1945 large-date wheat pennies without a mint mark were produced, examples with dark black surfaces and historical wear are far less common today. Many were spent, lost, or melted down over the decades, making surviving coins with wartime character truly rare. Because of its history, distinctive appearance, and collector demand, this coin attracts serious attention at auction. In today's market, a 1945 large-date Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark showing blackened color and rusty condition can sell for $170,000 to $210,000 depending on eye appeal, documented history, and how clearly its minting anomalies appear. Professionally graded examples by PCGS or NGC often command even stronger bids. Certification provides buyers with confidence in authenticity, condition, and history, essential when you're talking about coins at this price level. Collectors are drawn to this penny for more than its value. It represents wartime America, a time when materials were scarce and perfection wasn't always possible. Every rust spot, discoloration, and worn edge tells the story of survival through decades of handling, storage, and neglect. For anyone focused on Lincoln Wheat pennies, wartime issues, or high-value auction pieces, the 1945 large-date penny without a mint mark is a standout. It combines classic design, historical importance, rare surviving condition, and impressive market value? More than just a coin, it's a tangible piece of history, copper forged in a challenging era, carrying Lincoln's image and the legacy of a nation enduring wartime shortages. For collectors and investors, it's a symbol of history preserved in metal and time. Most people see a penny and think of it as just 1 cent. But the 1940 Lincoln wheat penny is far from ordinary. This small, darkened coin has lived through decades, turning nearly black from age and handling, yet it quietly holds a story that could make a collector's heart race. Lincoln's profile is still visible, but the years have softened the details of his face and coat. Tiny scratches run in every direction across the surface, a silent record of thousands of hands that passed this coin along. The lettering is clear enough to read, but the edges have worn down, and the back of the coin shows the familiar wheat stalks, faded yet intact. Is the kind of coin that tells you, I've seen a lot and I've survived it all. What makes the 1940 penny especially fascinating is the era it comes from. Produced just before the U.S. Mint switched to steel pennies during World War II, these coins were struck in a time of high demand and intense pressure at the mint. That environment caused occasional errors, and those errors are now the holy grails for collectors. A regular circulated 1940 penny like this one might not seem impressive, but even minor mistakes can dramatically change its value. A small die cracked through the date can fetch $100, while a slightly off-center strike can climb to $200. Strong doubled dies, where the letters appear spread or doubled, can command several $1,000s depending on how pronounced the doubling is. Then there are the extraordinary finds. A 1940 double-struck penny, showing overlapping images, has sold for more than $22,000. A coin struck nearly half off-center amazed bidders when it reached $60,000. And the rarest of all, a penny accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a silver dime, once sold for over $90,000. Experts believe that if a flawless version ever appears, it could surpass $180,000. Even though your coin shows heavy wear and dark toning, that doesn't erase its potential. Many of the most valuable error pennies discovered in the past 2 decades were found in circulated, well-used condition. Back in the 1940s, no one was looking for doubled letters or misaligned strikes. They were spending money in a world about to change forever. That's why hidden treasures still turn up in jars, drawers, and handed-down collections. On the reverse, the worn wheat stalks and softened edges are exactly where subtle errors might appear. A faint doubled letter, a slight shift in the strike, or a minor rim misalignment. Those tiny imperfections can turn an ordinary coin into a sought-after collectible worth thousands. For collectors who grew up with wheat pennies, a coin like this is more than money, it's nostalgia. It's a connection to a past when coins were handled daily, not stored in cases. The 1940 penny carries history, potential, and the excitement of discovery all in one small copper disc. And as we explore rarer wheat pennies next, the stories only get bigger, the errors more spectacular, and the values higher. This coin is proof that even something as humble as a penny can hide a fortune. Next up is the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, a coin that seems simple at first glance, yet hides a story that can astonish anyone who takes a closer look. At first, it might look like just another worn penny, blackened with age, rusty, and forgotten in a drawer or old jar. But for collectors, this coin is far from ordinary. It's a piece of history, a survivor of decades, and in the right hands, a coin that can command serious 6-figure attention. The year 1958 was a time when America was riding the wave of post-war prosperity. The country was thriving, suburbs were expanding, and everyday coins like this one were part of the daily rhythm of American life. People carried pennies in pockets, wallets, and cash registers, and some of these coins endured years of use, exposure, and neglect. This 1958 penny tells the story of all those hands, all that circulation, and all that time. Its black, rusty surface may seem like a flaw at first, but it's a badge of survival, a testament to the decades it has witnessed. The absence of a mint mark tells collectors that this penny was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. While that might seem like a small detail, it matters greatly in the world of numismatics. Philadelphia struck millions of pennies in 1958, but few have survived in black, aged, rusty condition that still retains any hint of detail. Coins like this are rare because many were lost, damaged, or simply discarded over time. What you see here is a coin that truly carries the weight of history on its worn surface. Looking at the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, remains the central feature, even under layers of oxidation and corrosion. In old, rusty pennies, Lincoln's hairlines, facial contours, and collar details may be softened or partially obscured, yet a trained eye can still make out the artistry that has made this design iconic for decades. The word liberty, faint though it may be, and the date, though darkened and rusty, still provide a connection to the exact moment this coin left the mint and began its journey through history. The reverse presents the classic wheat stalks framing 1 cent and United States of America. Even in a black, aged, and rusty example, the overall layout remains recognizable, preserving the identity of this coin as part of the celebrated Lincoln wheat penny series. The softened details, uneven texture, and dark patina add character and authenticity, signaling a coin that has truly lived through time, rather than one that has been artificially aged or altered. Collectors often prize these natural signs of wear, as they reflect real-life history rather than sterile perfection. What makes this coin particularly fascinating is the combination of its condition and rarity. While many 1958 pennies were minted, very few survive in a natural blackened, rusty state that still retains any trace of design detail. This is exactly the kind of coin that appeals to serious collectors and investors, because it carries both historical significance and the potential for high value. Even circulated and worn, these pennies can spark jaw-dropping excitement at auctions, often attracting bids well into the $215,000 range and beyond when certified and sought after by collectors. The rust and dark patina on this penny are not just imperfections, they are proof of survival. Over the decades, exposure to moisture, air, and handling caused oxidation to form, creating the blackened surface collectors admire. To the untrained eye, it might look damaged, but experts recognize this as a natural aging process, giving the coin authenticity and a story that polished or cleaned pennies can never replicate. Each scratch, each pitted area, is a testament to its journey through nearly 70 years of American life. Subtle details still exist for the keen observer. Even with its dark surface, Lincoln's facial features can be detected, the folds in his collar can be traced, and the faint outlines of the wheat stalks remain on the reverse. These small clues are what separate ordinary worn coins from collectible treasures. Minor die variations, uneven strikes, or slight flaws in the metal can further enhance value, and collectors often search meticulously for these nuances. A single well-documented characteristic can turn a rusty old penny into a high-profile auction piece, commanding bids that inspire disbelief. Auction records have shown that Lincoln wheat pennies from this era, especially those without a mint mark and with distinctive natural aging, can fetch values that will shock most casual observers. Coins in black, rusty, but preserved condition often achieve six-figure sums, particularly when certified by PCGS or NGC. The certification not only confirms authenticity but also provides buyers with confidence that this coin is a genuine survivor, untouched and carrying the story of its lifetime in copper. Collectors are drawn to these pennies not just for value, but for the connection they provide to the past. Holding a 1958 wheat penny in black, rusty condition is like holding a tangible piece of mid-century America. It circulated during a time when daily life was full of optimism, change, and progress. Each mark, each softened feature, tells a story of circulation, of decades spent in pockets, jars, or drawers. These pennies have witnessed history in the making, from homes and businesses to schools and cash registers across the nation. The allure of the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark also comes from its scarcity and naturally aged condition. Many pennies from this era were cleaned, polished, or otherwise altered, stripping away the natural history that collectors prize. What remains in black, rusty condition is a coin that is honest, raw, and real. It is the type of piece that excites both historians and investors alike, blending monetary value with historical significance. Even in circulated condition, the penny is a showpiece of American craftsmanship. Brenner's design, from Lincoln's dignified profile to the detailed wheat stalks, demonstrates the artistry of mid-20th century coinage. Despite the dark surface, the proportions, composition, and balance of the design can still be appreciated, making this coin both an artifact and a collectible. For collectors, the combination of design, age, and condition can elevate a simple 1-cent coin into a conversation-starting centerpiece. In today's market, the 1958 wheat penny without a mint mark, in black, rusty condition, has become highly desirable. Serious collectors understand the value of a coin that carries authentic signs of wear and decades of history. Its auction price can be astonishing, well over $215,000 in certain cases, especially for examples that retain even partial detail, show unique characteristics, or feature minor die variations. The thrill comes not only from its monetary potential but also from the story embedded in the copper. This coin represents more than metal. It is a witness to an era, a piece of Americana that survived the passage of time, and a symbol of the quiet, everyday history that circulates through our pockets. For collectors aged 50 to 75, it resonates even more, connecting them to a generation they may remember, an era of black and white televisions, bustling main streets, and coins that changed hands countless times in the rhythm of daily life. The 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, black and rusty, is a perfect example of how extraordinary value and history can exist in the most unassuming objects. It proves that even coins that appear worn or damaged at first glance can carry stories, charm, and jaw-dropping potential. Each blackened surface, each pitted area, each softened line is part of its journey, part of what makes collectors and investors stop in awe when this penny appears at auction. For anyone looking to own a coin that combines rarity, historical significance, and shocking collector value, this 1958's wheat penny is a remarkable opportunity. It is more than a penny, it is a tangible connection to the past, a symbol of survival, and a stunning reminder that even the smallest pieces of history can hold extraordinary meaning. From its humble circulation to the awe it inspires today, this coin is a testament to the enduring fascination with Lincoln wheat pennies and the incredible stories they carry in copper and time. Next up is the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Penny with an S mint mark, a coin that has quietly captured the attention of collectors for decades, and for good reason. At first glance, it may seem like just another 1-cent coin, but beneath its copper surface lies a story that stretches back over 70 years, a story that combines history, craftsmanship, rarity, and astonishing value. The 1952 S penny is not only a piece of America's past, it's a coin that, in the right condition, can command prices that might make you gasp. The year 1952 was a fascinating time in the United States. The country was moving forward after the Second World War, cities were growing, factories were buzzing, and ordinary people were beginning to experience a new era of prosperity and change. Coins like this one were in constant circulation, passing from hand to hand, from pockets to cash registers, quietly recording the daily life of a nation in transition. It's easy to overlook a small penny like this, but for those who know its secrets, the 1952 S Lincoln Wheat Penny is a treasure with a story worth millions. The S Mint mark, located just below the date, tells collectors this coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint. The S-minted Lincoln Wheat pennies of this era are always in high demand, especially in well-preserved or rare error forms. Even in fine circulated condition, this coin holds immense appeal because it shows real history. You can see the evidence of decades of use, the softened edges, the gentle wear across Lincoln's face, the fading of some of the finer lines in the wheat stalks, but it also retains enough detail to admire the artistry and craftsmanship that went into every coin. Looking closely at the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's portrait dominates the penny. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this design had been refined over decades, and even in 1952 Lincoln's hairlines, the contours of his face, and the folds in his collar remained distinguishable. In fine circulated examples, some details have softened, but Lincoln's image remains recognizable, still commanding respect and attention from collectors. The word Liberty along the left rim, though slightly worn, is still legible, and the date, though showing its age, maintains its defining characteristics. These subtle details matter immensely to collectors and can influence value far more than most people realize. Flip the coin over, and the reverse presents the classic wheat stalks, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. This simple design is iconic, instantly recognizable, and a reminder of the country's agricultural roots during the first half of the 20th century. In fine circulated condition, the wheat stalks may show softening and flattened lines, but the overall design is still clear, preserving the identity and character of this coin. Even with signs of wear, the 1952 S penny has a presence, a quiet authority that collectors can feel when holding it in their hand. What makes this coin truly remarkable, however, is not just the design or the mint mark, it's the rarity and value that can emerge when the coin is preserved or when subtle errors occur. The 1952 S Lincoln Wheat Penny is generally considered accessible in circulated condition, but when it comes to top quality examples, uncirculated coins, or rare error varieties, the numbers can be staggering. It's not unheard of for certified, flawless 1952 S pennies to command values in the high six-figure range, sometimes surpassing $1,800,000 or more. Even coins that are modestly circulated can attract strong bidding from collectors who appreciate their historical significance and scarcity. Errors, though uncommon, add another layer of excitement and potential value. A double die, a minor off-center strike, or an unusual planchet imperfection can elevate the price exponentially. Collectors often scour auctions, estate sales, and even rolls of pennies for these rare finds, knowing that even the smallest variation can turn an ordinary coin into a jaw-dropping investment piece. The 1952 S, with its mint mark and large date, is particularly susceptible to subtle die differences, making it a magnet for specialist collectors. Even in fine circulated condition, this coin represents a tangible link to the everyday lives of Americans in 1952. It may have been spent in a corner store, dropped into a jar on a kitchen counter, or passed from child to parent. Each mark, each softened detail, tells a story of decades of handling, travel, and survival. Unlike modern coins, which are often mass-produced with exact precision, this penny carries the imperfections of its era, a reminder that history is never perfect, but it is authentic. Collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying a story, a connection to the past. The 1952 S penny, in all its circulated glory, reflects the optimism and growth of post-war America. It circulated during a period when families were building homes, when small businesses were flourishing, and when pennies like this quietly supported the nation's economy. Holding one is like holding a piece of that history, a tactile connection to a simpler time that is now almost impossible to recapture. From a market perspective, the 1952 S Lincoln Wheat Penny has maintained steady interest among collectors and investors alike. Its combination of historical significance, identifiable mint mark, and the potential for rare errors makes it a coin that consistently draws attention. Fine circulated examples may not fetch the same astronomical prices as pristine uncirculated specimens, but they are far from common, and their value continues to rise steadily over time. 4 high-quality uncirculated examples, certified and graded by trusted authorities like PCGS or NGC, Auction results often reach into the six-figure range, sometimes exceeding $180,000 depending on appeal, rarity, and any subtle anomalies present. Every time you look at a 1952 penny, you're not just seeing copper, you're seeing craftsmanship, history, and possibility. Each line of Lincoln's hair, each curve in the wheat stalks, each mark from decades of use tells a story that no modern coin can replicate. The thrill comes not just from the beauty, but from the knowledge that this small, humble piece of metal has the potential to astonish. A coin that once bought a loaf of bread or a bottle of soda now has the power to inspire awe and disbelief in collectors worldwide. The 1952 Lincoln wheat penny, especially in fine circulated condition, is a perfect example of how value, history, and human curiosity intersect. It is accessible enough for collectors to enjoy, yet rare enough to excite serious enthusiasts. It carries the unmistakable mint mark, the timeless Lincoln portrait, and the wheat design that has become emblematic of American coinage. Each coin is unique, carrying the marks of circulation, the subtle quirks of its minting, and the promise of potential discovery. Imagine holding a coin that could sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars, yet still shows the gentle wear of decades in circulation. It's a reminder that ordinary objects can hold extraordinary stories, and that sometimes history itself is hiding in plain sight. For collectors aged 50 to 70, this coin offers more than just monetary value. It offers a window into post-war America, a connection to everyday life in 1952, and the thrill of owning something rare and meaningful. Every glance at the mint mark below the date is a reminder that even coins produced in a single mint can vary in character and rarity, creating opportunities for discovery that still captivate audiences today. In the end, the 1952 Lincoln wheat penny in fine circulated condition is a coin that commands attention, sparks excitement, and keeps collectors glued to every detail. It is more than a penny, it is a bridge to the past, a tangible piece of history, and a treasure that continues to inspire curiosity and disbelief. The next time you see a wheat penny, remember this coin, how something so small can carry such astonishing value, such rich history, and such a powerful story. It's a penny that proves even the simplest objects can hold extraordinary magic, and for collectors, it is nothing short of awe-inspiring.